Hello and welcome to the 11th live stream here on YouTube. I'm super pumped about it. I'm excited. We made it past 10 and we're still chugging along just fine. And I couldn't be happier. I'm very, very excited about that. Now, a little bit of an update before we get this live stream started. One of those updates is going to be whenever we are doing these new live streams, which is going to be the gun industry updates, which I am now planning on being bi-weekly because a lot of you guys were requesting when I was doing gun shop updates as far as what I was seeing with ammo availability, gun availability, what I'm seeing with people coming in shops and everything like that. A lot of you guys were requesting, hey, can you do something like this more often? Can you do it more frequently? What is up, man? So a lot of people really wanted to see that a little bit more. So I figured I would deliver on that and actually make it a bi-weekly gun industry update live stream every 2 weeks. So this is going to be the start of that. I don't necessarily know if these live streams every other week are going to be quite as long. It's all going to be depending on how much of an update there is. It is changing so rapidly right now that literally every 2 weeks in this particular industry, there is going to be a lot to talk about. But there might be other times where maybe there's not as much to talk about and that live stream ends at around the 30-minute mark. So I don't actually know how long this live stream is going to go today. Might be 30 minutes, might be an hour. It all depends on how much I am rambling on. But guys, before we get this live stream officially started, digging into the meat of the live streams. That sounds weird every time I say it, but thank you for tuning in regardless. I'm going to let a couple more people get in, and I can tell you guys briefly while we're waiting for more people to get in how you can support firearm freedom as of right now. YouTube has not really lifted the shadow banning off of my channel. It seems for the entire month of September and late August. So with that being said, there are still a couple other ways that you can support the channel if you would like. One of those ways is going to be my Subscribestar account. Now, you guys know the deal. After this video goes officially live on the channel, meaning it is posted, I go back into the description and post links to all of the information that I talk about in these lives, meaning Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Discord, merchandise store, Subscribestar, whatever else. They're all below. But guys, I just opened up Subscribestar a little bit ago. We currently have 3 awesome subscribers over at Subscribestar. But a little bit of a heads up and kind of like an insider look at Subscribestar, they actually don't even allow you to get any sort of like donation or anything like that. You cannot get the donation, or anything like that until you have 5 subscribers. So until you have 5 subscribers, you basically don't even have a Subscribestar account. So we're currently at 3. If we could get 2 more, that would be incredible because that means I'm going to be able to continue the Subscribestar account. If I can't get up to 5, they won't let me continue the Subscribestar account. So if you guys would like to check that out, you can even donate as low as $1 a month if you would like to donate to the channel. If not, no big deal. I totally get it. And if more merchandise stuff is down your alley rather than donating for behind-the-scenes content and stuff like that at Subscribestar, we do have some awesome Firearm Freedom merchandise. Anything you purchase from the merchandise store greatly supports everything that I do here on the channel. I want to catch up with your comments. Man, a bunch of people in already. What is going on, guys? KC, what is up? You should name your live stream Meat and Potatoes. That's what I should name it. You're absolutely right. And add potatoes after meat so it's less awkward. I prefer to make it awkward. I just feel like that makes everybody uncomfortable, which is great. So we're going to dig into the meat of this live stream soon. I used to get notifications of the live streams, but haven't for a few weeks. John, that seems to be happening for a lot of people. I don't know why. It's kind of almost laughable looking at my analytics, at this point, because like I said, like it's crazy. I am getting the same analytics now with 23,000 subscribers as I was getting with 900 to 1,000 subscribers back like years ago. So it is crazy. I'm here for the gun shop update. I've only been buying suppressors because guns and ammo too overpriced. Sold my $623 CZ for $915 after being on Gunbroker since February. Nick, yeah, that is pretty typical about everything that's going on right now. I've been looking for a Benelli M4 for a long time, but they are way overpriced on Gunbroker, almost double. Local shop finally got one in and didn't overcharge for it, even got a discount. Nick, that's awesome to hear you got an update or an alert. That is awesome. And also YouTube decides to demonetize these live streams now on my channel. So thank you, YouTube. I don't even show any sort of guns or anything like that in these live streams, and still they demonetize it, mainly because I probably use terms like guns, or sometimes I might drop a swear word in there. So YouTube just continues to help me out. I really appreciate that. So yeah, guys, there's a lot of updates still in the gun industry just after the last 2 weeks since the last time you guys heard me talk about the gun industry. What has been going on? Has it gotten any better? Has it gotten worse? What am I seeing in the industry? So to no surprise, it has not gotten any better. I've been able to see kind of an insider look and actually talk to reps with different major distributors, different dealers, different things like that to really get a better idea on kind of the overall thought on what is going on nowadays. And I got bad news for you, unfortunately. I try not to be just the bearer of bad news with every one of these gun shop updates, but it's the reality of what we're living in right now. And even though it blows my mind, there's some people out there that still absolutely don't know what's going on. I still get people almost every other day that come in and they don't know why there's no ammo. They don't know why there's no guns. They have no idea at all. So I try to tell you guys the reality of this situation, just so for maybe if there's somebody out there that doesn't know, and then to also help with a lot of like misinformation going on out there. So after talking to a lot of reps, after seeing distribution side, it does not look, once again, like it's going to be getting any better whatsoever. And we're talking pricing, availability on everything, guns, ammo, accessories, everything else. For, I would say, and everyone that I've been talking to, probably our best guess or our best estimate is a year to a year and a half. And that is if the election goes in the somewhat pro-firearms direction. Now, unfortunately, in modern times, we never really get true pro-firearms. Unfortunately, it always turns out to be either you lose a little bit or you lose everything. And that's a ridiculous choice that we're always given in these modern times, but that seems to be the constant cards, the hand that we're dealt. So that is if it goes in the line of slightly more pro-gun. Obviously, we are going to see it for at least another year to year and a half. I can tell you that if it goes the opposite direction, if it goes the more anti-gun direction during this election here in a couple of months, I don't have any idea. I could not even begin to piece together when or if the firearms industry as a whole would ever recover. And I don't want to be somewhat of a fearmonger or anything like that. But I can tell you guys firsthand that unfortunately there's quite a bit at stake coming up here in the line of firearms. And I don't think this is going to be something where, you know, if we get a little sigh of relief when it comes to guns in a couple of months, it's going to be something we're never going to face again, because I would almost guarantee you 4 years from now, depending on how this next election goes, we're going to be faced with the same thing, if not even worse. So there's a lot of kind of grim things on the horizon. And consistently, I'm seeing a lot of people come in that are very just kind of out of it when it comes to understanding the situation. They're out of it when it comes to understanding what is going on. They're out of it when it comes to understanding the raw material issue and the primer issue. Now it seems that actually with the ammunition problems when it comes to lead in the manufacture of ammunition, we're also seeing massive shortages in primers. So that's a big deal. A lot of you guys out there that are watching this right now are reloaders, and you guys have probably seen this firsthand, probably before anybody else has. But primers have become very, very unobtainium, and obviously you cannot manufacture any of this ammunition without primers. And I can tell you the ammunition shortages that we have been seeing are not getting any better. In fact, what is the most troubling, and I've said this in every one of these gun shop update videos or live streams, that it appears to be getting more expensive and less available every single week. And there's no exaggeration to that. And what you're seeing, and a good representation, if you guys, I mean, you guys don't have to watch these live streams to understand what's going on with the ammo crisis. All you have to do is go to AmmoSeek and check that daily. And you're seeing calibers that we once talked about in the very beginning of these live stream gun shop updates, like calibers like 45 ACP. There was a time a couple of weeks ago where I said 45 ACP is somewhat available. That is unobtainium now. You know, there were times last 2 weeks ago I said 7.62 by 39 and 5.45 seems to be the most available and inexpensive caliber currently there to shoot. And that is still the case, but 7.62 by 39 has already raised almost 15 cents a round on AmmoSeek for the exact same ammo that was 15 cents less a round 2 weeks ago. Now, that might not sound like a lot to you when it comes to, oh, it's only 15 cents more. That adds up to a lot. You know, when you're talking about different increments in just the pennies, I mean, the pennies of this ammunition can raise the price per box or per case dollars. You know, it's sometimes $100, depending on what you're looking at. And I am just not seeing any of this come down. I'm not seeing any of this come down. I picked up 1,150 rounds, 1,150 rounds of 9mm and 45 ACP at normal price. Felt like Christmas. That is pretty solid, man. Pretty friggin' solid. You are correct. If the election goes the wrong way, other madness will follow. Other catalysts could follow, regardless, pushing stabilization off further and further, maybe off a cliff. Yeah, I'm one of those people that, and you know, again, call me a fearmonger or whatever else, but I think that with how volatile the world is at this point in time, regardless of what direction, you know, the election is going in a couple of months, I think we're going to see major issues within this country. I just do. And unfortunately, every time you see major issues, you know, people flood in. I mean, just flood into gun shops. That is the first place they go. And unfortunately, you know, can I blame them? No. Should you already be prepared? Yes. But a lot of these people, they get scared, they don't know, they don't understand what's going on, and they're just in the general public. And a lot of these people in the general public just really don't have a clue, to be frank about it. I actually bought 300 Blackout for 60 cents a round versus $1 a round a month ago from AIM Surplus. Nick, that is not a bad price at all. 300 Blackout has become very, very unobtainium. I can tell you guys, and you know, this might be specific with my area that I am in the state of Pennsylvania. It might not be. I don't really know. But I can tell you guys firsthand, you know, how situations in your world unfold and how the panic buying, as I'm seeing it every single week, just seems to be increasing. It just seems to be increasing. It's showing no signs of letting up. You know, quite frankly, I think the only reason a lot of shops are not selling as much and a lot of shops are not getting as many lines of panic buying is because there's not anything left to sell most of the time. You know, most of the time what I'm seeing is people are walking into gun shops right now in 2020, you know, doing their ammo walk around and walking out. I mean, you know, it is not the time to be walking into a gun shop and just browsing, because chances are you're not going to find anything close to what you're looking for. With ammo running low, are you seeing less people at the range? Nick, I think it's yes and no. I think there's a big misunderstanding here, and I've been seeing this firsthand with people that I've talked to about when this is going to stop. So right now, people are still going to the range. BC, what is up, man? I'm glad you caught it live. So right now, I'm still seeing people at the range. I'm still seeing, a ton of people at the range. I think what's going on right now is that people don't really understand how much ammo is enough, how to properly store their ammo, and how to properly keep their ammo. They have no idea. I have talked to people firsthand who are relatively new in the gun industry, and they just came back from the range, and they just came back from shooting 9mm. And I'll have a conversation with them and be like, yeah, it's getting crazy how expensive it is. They may have bought ammo, talking 9mm, 2 months ago, right, in this situation. And they're like, oh, yeah, I know, right? That's crazy. And they're thinking in their mind back when it was like $17 a box, but it was still everywhere. And generally these individuals will say, I'm glad I stocked up when I did. I got like 500 rounds at home. So these people say comments like that, and they don't understand that you're going to go through that really, really, really quickly. And if I had 500 rounds of 9mm, I wouldn't be shooting a single round of 9mm because of how low your inventory is. So it's one of those things where, I think nobody really understands how much ammo they have, whether it's enough, whether it's not enough. Here's the deal, guys. Even if you have 5,000 rounds, even if you have 10,000 rounds of one specific caliber in your collection, I still wouldn't be going to the range like nothing is happening and just blowing through hundreds of rounds a range day. Guys, I easily, before the panic buying and scare started, I easily went through maybe 1,500 to 2,000 rounds per month on my channel with just 2 to possibly 3 range days. It is very easy to just blow through ammo if you're not careful at the range. I would really recommend to you and everybody else that's watching this and other newbies in the industry right now to take ammunition inventory of what you currently have. Count every round. How many hollow points do you have? How many or defensive ammunition do you have? How many target loads do you have of just standard full metal jackets? And where is your stockpile going? Are you going to the range this weekend just to blow off some steam, or going up to the cabin or whatever else? Or should you be maybe finding ammo in a shop, and if you can't find it in a shop, don't be shooting it. And I think you need to, as a gun owner at this point, keep track of ammo seek and look at exactly where these prices are going. I've talked to a lot of people that the last time they bought 9mm was $16 a box online. When I tell them I get on Ammo Seek right now and the lowest box that I find available is steel case ammunition for $30, they're blown away. They're almost visibly sick to their stomach that they just shot a box of their 9mm at the range. And I can't tell you how many times during the week this happens. So guys, if you have your ammo, unless you absolutely have to go to the range right now, I would not be shooting a lot of common handgun calibers, of common rifle calibers, because there's a good chance that you are not going to be able to refill that. We're not talking for a week, a month, a couple of months. We're talking for possibly a year or more if it goes in a relatively okay direction for guns. This is a really big thing. It really is, and it's continuing to just be worse in the way of a perfect storm. My range started selling their ammo for range use only in Ziploc bags. Yeah, I've seen a lot of places do that as well. I actually got 2 20-round boxes of brass 5.56 for $27 shipped. That's all they had, but was happy to get some. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty overpriced, but, it's not too terrible for right now. 500 rounds of 9 mil is like 2 range trips for me. Yeah, I mean, that's like, that is not a lot of ammo at all. There's a free application called Gun Vault. It's a great way to keep inventory of firearms for insurance. Also, you can keep track of your ammo on there too. KC, that's pretty cool, man. I'll have to check it out. John, thank you so much for the donation, man. I really appreciate that. 32 Icon, honestly, what's the point of having it if you can't shoot it? Hoarding for what? Well, to be honest with you, man, people don't really know what the hell is going on, what the hell is going to happen. People are hoarding it for situations where maybe they want to train for extended periods of time. Maybe they're planning for an SHTF situation. Maybe they're prepping for, civil unrest. God only knows, but I can tell you can never really have enough ammunition. I see a lot of people out there getting like irate at somebody that's saying like, oh, I have 5,000 rounds. Somebody's super pissed because they're like, oh man, why would you buy all that? And generally a lot of that is like, oh, I only have 100 rounds or I only have 200 rounds. And those people think, when they get frustrated at somebody with 5,000 rounds, they get frustrated because they think this is why there's no ammo, because it's people like that hoarding it up. And that's not why there's no ammo. There's no ammo because of raw materials, primers, and panic buying. Generally, the people hoarding ammo have already hoarded that ammo many years ago. They're not the ones that are buying it right now. Now, granted, if you already have 10,000 rounds, right, and you're going in and you're searching all over the place, you're buying cases and cases and cases, you're still racking it in, maybe allow others to at least have a chance. If you got a couple thousand rounds, there might be some people with just a box. There might be some people with just a box. But I can tell you, it's really a crappy situation, because if you don't come in and buy the entire stock of whatever it is, somebody else comes in and buys the entire stock. Whether it is a brand new gun owner or somebody that hoards, everybody's doing the same thing. It's really tough. People buying surplus crates like crazy. Yeah, for sure. Right, but what is coming where you're going to shoot all 5,000 rounds at the same time? I'm simply saying you buy to shoot, not keep in your basement. Well, 32 Icon, I would disagree. I would say, that you're keeping it in the basement, but that could be keeping it in the basement to shoot. If everybody just shot and bought exactly what they shot, at the range, you're going to run out of ammo really quick, or you're going to not be going to the range that frequently. A lot of these people want to stay proficient with their firearms. So if you stocked away 10,000 rounds, even if there's an ammo shortage for the next year and a half to 2 years, you got ammo to go to the range for a box of 50 every month if you wanted to, every other month, a couple of times a month, and still be proficient, still trained, still be practicing with your firearm. As far as an SHTF situation, I think a lot of these people, when you're talking about prepping and prepping for a world, that is in an SHTF situation, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be sitting there in a situation where you're slamming in mag after mag after mag and going to town with 10,000 rounds of 9mm in one specific engagement. But if the grid goes down in a SHTF situation, it's not like you're going to your local sporting goods store to buy a bunch of ammo. So it's nice to have a good stockpile, of ammunition. This is the same reason why a lot of us in the gun community and everything else, are getting water, food, different things like that, and they've already had this stuff for long-term food storage. They've already had emergency communication methods and everything like that. More of a survival. I hate using the word prepper or prepping and doomsday prepping and stuff like that, because honestly, I think that has a bad taste to the end of it, really. I think it should be more viewed as survival, preparing for survival, Sorry guys, I'm just catching up. I understand your point. I do, however, I'm sure glad I stocked up 9mm at 15 cents a round instead of waiting to buy now. You know what I mean? After Hillary, Trump, I always kept 2 years worth of shoot ammo on hand, so I've been hoarding for 4 years. 10-round capacity states are laughing right now. Absolutely, I hear you. Just looking at it from both sides, since I actually shoot my ammo, I'm disciplined with how much I shoot, but I like to shoot and not look at it. I also shoot, all the more reason to have ammo on hand. True, true. The preppers were right all along. And true, the preppers were right all along. So, yeah, you know, the ammo is really getting rough. And I think where it's getting rough the most is with brand new gun owners right now. This is something that I've never seen before. You know, I have had multiple, not just one, but multiple customers coming in. They just bought their first gun. They don't understand how it works. And I have people calling in saying, hey, I just bought my first gun 2 months ago. It's a 380 ACP. For those of you guys that don't know, 380 seems to be the most difficult to find right now out of almost every caliber, to even find it in stock, let alone finding it at an overpriced amount that you just can't even find it in stock. You know, but I'm getting people coming in saying, hey, I just bought my first pistol. It was a 380. I bought it 2 months ago, and I have not even been able to find a box of ammo. You know, and I've been calling every local shop. I don't know what to do. I have this gun. I want it for protection, and I literally can't even protect myself with it, let alone practice, let alone training, practice, anything. Throw all that out the window. They can't even load the gun to somehow use it in a defensive situation. Oh, by the way, that's with target ammo because there is no hollow points available whatsoever. So, you know, it's sad. Honestly, it's sad to see. I mean, it's very easy to throw your hand up, you know, to at these people and be like, oh, you're an idiot. You should have bought this gun many years ago. You should have been practicing. You should have been stocking up. But I mean, you know, at some point or another, you got to look at it where like these people, you know, they weren't sure, they didn't know. A lot of times, some people don't even know that guns are legal to own like that. They have absolutely no idea. You know, and it's really bad. You know, you have a lot of people out there that cannot practice, cannot train, cannot do anything. They cannot even load the gun to somehow protect themselves with. You know, and this is not changing. On top of that, I'm seeing a furthering of every single. I mean, I'm seeing almost every other gun shop raise their prices to obscene amounts because you have, again, two mentalities of gun shops right now. You have the mentality of saying, okay, we want to keep stuff in inventory, so we're going to raise everything up by $400 on guns, and we're going to jack up the prices on ammo 50 to 60%. And that's really unfortunate because that's not doing anybody any favors. And then you have other shops that are trying so hard to keep inventory in stock, but they will not price gouge, which I love to see. You know, I love seeing that because it shows you that a shop is truly trying to get you what you need and not price gouge in times like this. But there has to be box limits. I mean, down to one box limit, and still it is selling out like crazy. You know, and it's really tough. I am seeing, as another update for this gun shop video, I am seeing a massive increase in class participation, which is a big deal. In classes all around. We're talking ham radio classes, survival classes, handgun 101 classes, rifle classes. We are seeing a massive increase in the amount of attendees at each one of these classes, which is incredible. The downfall is a lot of these people are coming to classes with no ammo to shoot. There is just nothing there. So a lot of these instructors are getting very creative. They're either putting ammo aside for people to be able to practice with and shoot, or they are driving classes more towards just safety and understanding of the firearm without even shooting in the first place. So that is another thing that a lot of these people are doing, and it seems to be working. You know, it seems to be working to a point. The preppers were right all along. On my gun forum last night, a guy asked what 380 gun to buy for his thousands of 380 ammo. Yeah. The AK and 1911 guys were right all along. Well, 1911, unfortunately, you're not looking great at price on 45 either. I'm seeing a lot of IWI Masada and Zions at non-inflated prices. Nick, I've seen that too. I've also seen, an increase more recently in brand new gun owners buying their first gun and really, really buying out large amounts of stock. So that is different. That's another update that I haven't seen in the first couple of months of this. We started seeing panic buying, and, the panic buying was really rough. I'd never seen anything like it. But if you guys remember back in Sandy Hook, back during Sandy Hook times, you would have people coming in and buying large quantities of magazines, ammo, whatever, all at one time. And for the longest time, I didn't necessarily see that. I saw a lot of people coming in buying handguns and different things like that, and there's still a lot of people coming in buying handguns. But within the past week to week and a half, I've seen far more brand new gun owners come in, and now they're starting to buy rifles. They want an AR. Not only do they want an AR, I'm seeing people grab 15, 20, 30, 40 magazines to go along with it. They are grabbing accessories, whatever else, everything. And not only that, whenever I restock those magazines, those same individuals who this is their first gun, they're buying more magazines, and they're really clearing the shelves out. So I think you're going to see an increase in that as well. I think you're going to see an increase in that. And I can tell you guys that the more that these unrests, right, the more that these riots start happening close to home, the more that these rifles are going to be gone. I've talked to many people that actually have lived in Philadelphia, in Pennsylvania, and I see a lot of people living in Philadelphia, and they're seeing really violence unfold outside their window. And I talked to a couple of people that have handguns, right? They're not necessarily gun people. They had a small concealed carry handgun, and that is it. They're sitting in their apartment complex, whatever else. And a lot of these folks are sitting there thinking, this is not enough. Like, this handgun is not enough for this situation. When you see your entire city becoming unhinged, you're seeing your entire city unfold in front of you, and you're seeing, the people that are, allegedly supposed to be keeping order, whatever else, just kind of not able to do so anymore, and the self-protection rely on you, because it always has been on you, but a lot of these people don't necessarily believe that. They think there's somebody coming to save them. But, cold, hard reality and truth knocks on the door, and they're sitting there with their small concealed carry handgun and looking at the whole city and saying, this small concealed carry handgun is not enough to protect myself, my family, protect my, my situation. And a lot of these people in these big metropolitan areas cannot even get out in time. Not only that, I'm seeing these riots, bad situations start to develop outside of those major metropolitan areas. I can't tell you guys how many times over the past couple of weeks, when there's been a couple more riots breaking out in more rural areas of Pennsylvania more recently, how many people are flooding into the gun shops yet again saying, hey, I've been teeter-tottering on the fence, don't know if this is, I didn't know if this was for me, then this happened, it happened right out my front door, and it's happening way too close to home. I didn't think something like that could happen so close to home. Now I want a gun. I want it right now. And unfortunately, I got to tell most of these people, well, I can sell you the gun, but I literally don't even have a box of ammo to sell you with it. So I'm seeing a lot of that now as well. Has the background delay issues gotten better? I went to pick up a lower in my FFL, and he said come back the next day to pick it up. Nick, the background check issues in each state right now are really all over the place. In Pennsylvania, it could be immediate, it could be 10 minutes, it could be 15 minutes, it could be an hour and a half. It is all over the place. It seems to be much worse later in the day. Joe, did you see John with the $10? That was pretty cool. Way to go, John. KC, I did see that. I thanked John a little bit ago, but you know what? I'll thank you again, John. Thank you for that. Have you noticed that the lesser expensive ARs like PSA or M&P 15 Sport 2, the prices have skyrocketed, and mid-range ARs like BCM or Centurion haven't raised in price at all? Thoughts? Sean, that's a great example. I've talked to a couple of customers this week that have come in and they're looking for a Saint, a Springfield Saint. They're looking for a Smith & Wesson. They are looking for, a Ruger AR-556. They're looking for a Palmetto State Armory. They're looking to build for a cheap price. And what I've been telling these people is, I'm like, look, I won't lie to you. Those rifles were great at $499. Those rifles were great at $550. When you're finding these rifles for $750, $800, like I'm pointing to $1,000 PWS on the wall, and I'm like, dude, I know money's a little tight right now, but if you're already going to spend $800 on a beginner entry-level AR, you might as well jump up to $1,000 because that rifle hasn't changed prices at all. And it's a great rifle. One would argue a little bit better overall than a Ruger or a Smith. So I think a lot of people are going to start shifting towards the BCMs, the Daniel Defenses, the PWS, Centurion, everything else like that, because the prices are looking more and more appealing. Now, with that being said, I think you're going to see availability of those guns start to diminish even more because of that, because a lot of people are starting to realize that, and that is just what's happening. A side note as well, what I'm starting to get nervous about is I've been hearing and seeing a lot of very sketchy QC issues out of major manufacturers. I'm not going to name the manufacturers, but they make a lot of guns. Unfortunately, what my worry is these major manufacturing companies that are really chugging along hard to get this stuff produced and out and ready for sale. I'm worrying that now we're going to see not only issues in availability, but also issues in quality control. When you're in times like this where everybody is going a million miles an hour to really try and get this stuff out, I think you're going to start seeing major issues in quality control. I think you are. I think we already are. So I think that's going to be yet another notch on the belt of 2020 in this perfect storm of a nightmare when it comes to firearms. I think you're going to constantly see major issues with quality control. Even when you do find a gun, it might be having some issues. So that's something to think about as well. I don't have any factual evidence to that. That's just hearsay, but, it is what it is. Sorry, guys, I'm catching up on your comments here. I was on PSA's site today and noticed that the problem is so many of the other manufacturers are out of stock or on back order for 4 to 12 months, according to their product webpage. Yeah, everything is back ordered. It's insane. And the more back orders they get, the longer that back order goes out. You would be amazed what 50 dudes with AKs, man jammies, and flip-flops can do against superior weapons. Yeah. E-Rock, what is up, man? Sean, I've also noticed that it's from the new gun owner that will spend $1,100 on a base AR instead of spending $1,500 on a BCM that is normally 3 times the price. It's nice for us gun enthusiasts. KC, it's nice at the moment. I would imagine that's quickly going to go away. PSA still has a complete kit minus lower phosphorus non-V barrel for $399. Still pretty much a screaming deal, especially in this climate. Yeah, I gotta agree. That's not that bad of a deal at all. I always learn something new in your live streams. John, I really appreciate that, man. That's really my only goal with this stuff. I still need to get a BCM upper. I hear great things. Yeah, the BCM uppers are pretty sweet. Companies like BCM and SOLGW aren't price gouging. No, they're not price gouging, and I don't think they're going to price gouge. The issue that I think I'm going to end up seeing is bad availability on those guns. Do you have a Mark 111 Pro at your shop? If so, I'm super interested, especially in pistol configuration. I do not, unfortunately, but I got to say the Mark 116 is looking very, very good to me, and I might be picking one of those up in the future to do a video on because they're pretty freaking cool. I've been getting really into the PWS stuff lately. The shop that I work out of now carries quite a bit of PWS stuff, and I never really got to get my hands on them until I started working there, and I gotta say, I am pretty freaking impressed with the guns. They're pretty awesome. Get your binary triggers now while you can too. Absolutely, that's a great point. The manufacturer doesn't price gouge, it's the distributor. Manufacturers can raise prices, but it takes a bit more time for that, for sure. Wanted to order a DDM4 V7. Anyone know how long it would take? Anti-swamp, honestly, man, I have absolutely no idea. I couldn't even begin to tell you how long the back orders are running for Daniel Defense. This is why I love Colt parts, because they are top used by TDP used by the U.S. military, so kind of hard not to want to pick up Colts, but they can sell TDP parts on commercial market. PSA released their 9mm Glock clone, called it the Dagger this week. Retail $299, sold out in under 10 minutes. BC, I have been seeing Palmetto State Armory sell out on stuff like crazy. Like you refresh the page and it's gone. The live stream helped me save my ammo. FF channel, always bringing the knowledge. Hey, KC, I'm so happy that I could do that for you, man. Hey, great channel. Just moved from Cali to Nevada. I can't believe how oppressed I've gone crazy buying. The sky is the limit. Does the wait time on NFA vary state to state? It does not. 80s Warrior, you're looking right now at a turnaround time of anywhere between 5 and 7 months. I always tell people a year, just because if it comes back less than a year, Merry Christmas. And if it takes more than 7 months, you're not going to be disappointed. So imagine a year no matter what time you go. But there's not a lot of people buying suppressors right now, in my opinion, compared to other things on the market. So suppressor times are still not too bad. Nick, what do you think about the Glock P80 that came out? I personally love it. The only reason is because I'm kind of a sucker for cool, nostalgic guns. And that definitely fits the bill. So in the future, I would love to get my hands on one. I would love to buy one. It's just more so a cool factor thing for me. I dig it. I really enjoy that. Whenever a company goes retro, it's rare that I'm like, oh, I wish they didn't do that. I think more companies should do retro lines of exact to-spec original guns, and I think they'd make a killing. PS AK-74 sold out in 31 seconds. I cried at 32 seconds when I hit the order. Yeah, it is insane, man. It is absolutely insane. Aero Precision had a little over 1,200 receiver sets and sold out in 21 minutes. Yeah, I think it is easy to say that it is unprecedented right now with what's going on. It really is. I am still hoping to move to America one day. I'm stuck in the third world that is California. I am sorry, man. P80 was the first Glock ever issued. The Austrian and Norwegian military, absolutely. Jay, so glad I got my MPXK. Just cannot find 30-round mags. That is all. Yeah, and I'll tell you what. A little bit of a side note on 30-round mags. Guys, magazines right now are still plentiful and available in many different configurations. We're talking calibers, guns, platforms, whatever else. They're not going to be available come closer to the election, just a heads up. I think the more talk you hear about gun control, the more gun control rhetoric that you hear, is that, those mags are going to be gone. So I don't want to incite panic buying. I don't want you to tell you guys to go up and buy everything, buy everything out of an entire shop. What I'm telling you guys to do is, if you're low in 300 blackout mags, if you're low in AK-74 mags, if you're low in 7.62x39 AK mags, then buy a mag a week. Buy a mag every 2 weeks. Every paycheck, buy a mag. Every other paycheck, buy a mag. I don't care what you do, but I'm telling you that don't be sitting there like, oh man, I want to buy a new gun when you have no magazines. Because 2 months from now, a year from now, you're going to be the one sitting there like, oh crap, I wish I bought magazines back when they were not $50 a piece. So kind of understand that. Magazines have not been hit hard right now for some reason. Are we allowed to ask about ammo updates? Hard to find ammo. Yeah, Chris, absolutely. I talked about that in the beginning of the live stream, but any questions you have, feel free to let me know. What retro gun would you want to see come back? KC, that's a good question. You know, and it's also a relatively tough question to answer. I think IWI is missing the market heavily. Heavily. I think if IWI found a way to get tooling back up and running for Galil kits, they would make an absolute killing. They would not be able to make enough original Galil builds. I think if they did an original Uzi clone, an Uzi carbine clone, and there's other companies out there that do it, so I know they could, they would make a killing. They could not even begin to make enough. If they made an original micro Uzi clone, again, could not make enough. I think if somebody did an exact representation of an Intratec Tech 9, again, they could not make enough. I think those would sell like crazy. I think HK, if they didn't most of the time kind of hate the civilian market, if they made a UMP pistol and imported in the pistol variation of the UMP, I think, again, they would make an absolute killing. Even if it was $2,500, they would make a killing. An MP7 pistol, again, great point, absolutely. I always recommend 10 mags per gun you're going to use for self-defense. Sean, that's a great baseline, 100%. Ruger 44 carbine, Screaming Skull Saloon, that would be pretty awesome as well. Again, make the UMP. Dude, you know, I think personally they would make a killing with that. Colt XM177E2 is my all-time favorite. Sucks that Brownell's Retro is more clone correct than the Colt. The Colt Retro isn't even made by Colt. Yeah, Sean, I would agree, 100%. Guys, I'm probably going to start wrapping it up now. I know we've had a bunch of good questions, so if you guys have any other questions, throw them down below, and I'll try to answer them in the last couple minutes, but probably around the 50-minute mark, we're going to cut it. Wish Trump would approve M1 carbines and Garand from overseas. There were a couple of Garands that came in from Taiwan, if I'm not mistaken, about a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago. They were in really rough shape, and M1 carbines are still floating around. Congress does that. Yeah, absolutely. That's another good point, BC. Guys, we're right at about that time. I know I'm wrapping it up a little bit early, but I do have an HRT rack plate carrier first impressions video dropping hopefully pretty freaking soon. Sean, I do too, buddy. So hopefully I can get that video up either later tonight or tomorrow. I feel like I've said that last week and everything just went crazy. So we will see if I can get that up tonight or tomorrow. Busy times right now in the gun industry. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you guys so much that you tune in for watching these live streams. I really appreciate it. I appreciate that you take your time away from your day, to hang out here and chat in the Firearm Freedom group. Once again, if you want to support the channel, we need 2 more Subscribe members in order to actually have a functioning Subscribe account. So if you would like to check that out, the links are down below. Check that out, guys. Thank you so much for watching. The links are also down below to the Firearm Freedom Discord server, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter account. We do daily posts on all of those, sometimes every other day, but you guys are not going to want to miss out on the gun pictures. If you're enjoying the content coming out here on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell so you kind of stay updated, even though YouTube likes to shut it down. But guys, thank you so much for watching. Have an incredible night, and I will see you next week.